Hey everyone, this is Cindy, and someone had commented that they would like to see how I made the expanded spines for my journals. Sorry, got pages, extra pages there. So I thought I would show you how. I think the one that they had seen that I was referring to was this one, because this is an old Reader's Digest condensed book, and I just used the original spine. I didn't make a new one, expanded it out to make this book a little bit wider, and you can kind of see where the original edges were, and I'm going to show you how I did that. And I'm probably going to do this video in different parts and then mesh them all together, so if you get a little wonky transition, you'll know what I did. But I'm trying to show you because I'm not sure how it shows up on camera. Let's show this one. This is an actual book with still pages. Okay, here's what it is, and here you can see is the actual chipboard of the spine. It ends right here. Okay, and see that little divot right there? That's what we use to expand the spine. Here's the spine, of course, and then here's another divot right here. And then the chipboard begins again. You know, on little golden books, they have the exact same thing, and I should have one to show you. Hang on just a second. Okay, sorry. See, they have the same thing. Chipboard ends here, there's the divot, and then it goes on. And what makes them a problem is the pages go up past that little divot. Whereas on these books, they go a little bit beyond it. I guess they do. I didn't realize they went that much. So most people will just cut right here at the divot, and that means their book cover is too small for their little golden book pages, the original pages. So there's ways around it, and one day I'll show you how to do that. There's a lady, I got the idea from a lady. None of these ideas, oops, there goes my book, are originally mine. I just watch them on YouTube and then forget where I watch them. But anyway, and on the expanded spine, I don't even think the lady was doing a video on expanded spine. She was just explaining, okay, here's what I did, and she went on. So I'm not sure about that, and I have no clue who it was. When I first started doing junk journals, first found out about them, I just watched every YouTube channel I could find. And I mean, I just did it like 24 hours a day, and then finally, you know, started doing my own. So I have no clue who I saw. But anyway, that's our key thing right there. So what we need to do is cut out the pages. And this book is an older book, so it should, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I've got this X-Acto knife. My husband got it for me, just because I kept using his. So this one comes out easy because it's so old. And the age of it, and it being a Reader's Digest book, kind of worries me because their spines crumble to me. Some of them just crumble, but yet here I am using the expanded spine on this one, and I used it on this one, and they're both Reader's Digest. So if you can catch the books, some of them were okay. Okay, pages are out. There's our divot. So what's going to happen now is we're going to spread that out, that divot out. And you can kind of see where the original spine is because it's a little different color. So we're going to spread that out. So there's the inside. So right here is where the divot was because there's no chipboard. None on this side. So what we're going to do is get a piece of chipboard and put it over this, and that keeps it expanded out, because that's what I did here, except I've got it covered with the fabrics, but you can see that chipboard is there. Okay, here's another one I had to cut out. I already had cut out when I found out I needed to do this video, so I'm not sure if it's easy to see or not. You can see where the original cover ends. There's your divots, spine, divot, and then chipboard again. So this one is the same thing. It's really, this one has a really thin spine. It's nothing like the chipboard here, so it won't hurt at all to add a piece of chipboard here. That's going to expand that out. So I'm going to go measure these. Well, let me just do it right now, except I don't see a ruler. I have rulers everywhere. Here we go. Rulers and scissors seem to lose their place all the time. Okay, let me do it on this one. because it's easier to see the difference here. I need to measure from the beginning of this chipboard here, and it's about 1.5 inches. Can you see that? I'm measuring from there to there. So 1.5 inches, except I need to come in just a little shy of that because I want to be able to fold it. And then this is 7.5 with another 1/8. That's how I measure. So I'm not sure. It's not quite 7 3/4, but it's really close. So I'm going to start with 7 3/4 and 1.5. And then on this one, it's going to be 2. Not quite 2. It's about 1 3/4 by 11. I should write that down. So I'm going to go cut those pieces of chipboard, and I'll come back. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I cut the chipboard for the 2 books, and they are. I have bought an abundance of index cards just at your garage sales, state sales, you know, Dollar Tree, Salvation Army, wherever. So I have a lot. So I thought, you know, I'm going to start keeping my notes on these books, on these index cards. So I just put a basic description or name of it, whatever it is, on the top of the thing, and then I write notes like the green, I can't even read that. Oh, green spine glue book, which is the bigger one. I can't read my own writing. It looks like an E. There we go. It has 1 3/4 by 11 1/4 inch spine to be adjusted, and then the Reader's Digest Fanfare book has a 1.5 by 7.5 spine. Now that doesn't mean that's going to be the sizes of the pages. We'll do that later. But anyway, just thought I'd show you that. So that's my notes. So I cut these. Now I'm going to glue them in. Now it takes a little fitting to get these in. Make sure I'm in the... So you can either use the paper trimmer again or scissors. Oh, and by the way, I found the ruler a while ago. I was sitting on it. That never happens. Okay. So I put this in here and I checked to see if it folds. Looks like I got a perfect cut the first time. I'm real happy. Oops, wait a minute. When I fold them both up, look what happens. So can't have that. Maybe just because it slipped up. I think I'm going to shave off just a little bit. So I just usually use my scissors because I can't, being this narrow, it's hard on my paper trimmer. I have a guillotine printer that I use for thicker papers like this. I actually use it for most of my papers anymore. I just love it. It's an old one though. I inherited it. Actually, I think my husband bought it at a garage sale. I inherited it from him. Okay, that does great. And then you got to kind of watch the ends. And I want it to be, since this chipboard here, I want it to be fairly close to the ends of the book. Let me make sure I'm in frame at all on that. I don't necessarily want it right up to the end because then it's really going to show. So there being just a little bitty gap there, like a 16th of an inch gap is okay with me. So I'm going to glue this in. And then once it's glued in, you can cover it with paper. You can cover it with fabric like I did here, or just whatever you want. So, and then on this one, see, I covered the chipboard, oh goodness, with the fabric here, but it didn't cover so well at the top. So I just added this little bitty lace, and it kind of looks like that, whatever books have sometimes at the top. So anyway, and that works well with my Secret Garden book. So anyway, all right. I use, depending, well, no, it depends on which glue is handy. That's the glue I use. You can use, what's that kind? I can't think of it right now. It's in the gold bottle. Thick stuff. It's right behind me. Tacky glue. You can use it, and I usually use that a lot because when I make a spine, I always let it dry overnight. Because, you know, if I'm going to be sewing in on this spine, I want to make sure it's good and dry and stiff before I sew it in. So that's basically all there is to it. Now, if you notice the spine on the outside, that chipboard holds those little divots out. So now we no longer have those little divots as part of the spine. And that's going to stiffen it up, make a great little spine for this book. So anyway, that's that one. Let's do this one real quick. Let's go over it again from the top. Okay, here's the book cover. It's got that divot where the chipboard ends and the spine begins. And that's what it looks like if you're reading the book right now with pages in it. And now I'm going to fit this chipboard. It's going to be a little harder to keep this on the screen since it's a large book. This one is green spine book. Yeah, I already went over the size. I can already tell it's too long and it's way too wide. Okay, so just shave off a little bit on the bottom. I'll fit that first. Maybe just a little bit more. And you know, this all is to your taste. If you want your chipboard to go right to the end, then that works great. But okay, that looks pretty good. Now we got definitely shave off the side. So I'm just doing a little sliver like that. And of course, if I get it wrong and I miss it and cut it too much, I just go to my stashed chipboard and cut another one. And it doesn't really matter if I cut straight or not. I mean, I don't want a big difference, but you know, like a little hump there, here or there is not going to hurt anything. I think. It's still a little long, but we're better on that. So let me trim off just a little bit more. You couldn't see me trim that off, I think. Okay. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So we're just gonna glue it in and make it work. So I'm just using Fabri-Tac because I use Fabri-Tac for 90% of the time. I don't like, when I first started out, I would, don't want to drip that everywhere. I would use the tacky glue, and I would go into my room, craft room, glue something down, weigh it down with something, leave, and then come back. I was just kind of working in, you know, I don't even know what you would call that. Bits and pieces, I guess. Okay, now you can see how it expands that spine out and holds it out for us. So it will do an even better job when it dries. So I'll leave it overnight, and if I remember, I will show you tomorrow what they look like dried. So thanks for watching. Bye. Hey guys, this is Cindy, and I remembered to show you the spines today. It's been 24 hours and they're completely dry, and I just wanted to show you that they're working well on the inside, and on the outside you can tell it's holding that spine out. So, and there you can tell as well. It took a spine that was 1 1/4 inches to what is now, let's see, about 2 inches, maybe just a hair under. So anyway, that is ready to go, and that is going to be, pretty sure I'm going to make it a glue book because it's an awful large book, but we'll see, because I'm not going to work on it for a while. I'll set it aside for a little bit. But I did want to include the pages, you know, that were, I'll put that one out of the way, that were here in the book, and so I just hinged them together with some copy dye paper. And I did the same thing with these 2 pages that just came, you know how they stick to these. So I tore those off, and then also gives me the copyright date of this book, 1995, so it's not old. But I got this book, I was at a yard sale and was looking at I had a box of clothing patterns, and the lady said, you can just have that whole box. So I thought, oh my gosh, yes. So I was getting that, and I think I purchased something from them for like $2, and then they had a box of books that I hadn't noticed before. So I'm kind of looking through those, and she said, you can have that whole box of books too. So anyway, this is one of them that was included. No, you're right. So anyway, that is that one. And then here's the other one I did, the Fun Fair book, the Reader's Digest book. Same way, it's got some good wiggle to it, so I know it folds great. And it holds that spine out really well. And the spine on this one is easy to tell where it was because a different color is 1 1/4 inch, and it's about 1.5. So I didn't gain a whole lot on this one, but I gained I've gained about, let's see, because it's not quite, it's 1 1/4. I gained about a 1/2 inch on that one. But anyway, what I started to say is you could tell that this was on a shelf, and this got exposed to the lights, I guess, and then this rest of this didn't, because it was, you know, up next to other books. So anyway, and on these two, here's the pages, you know, that were attached here. So I wanted to keep those. And like I said, these pages come attached. So, and I wanted to keep this one. It's got the copyright 1949 for this book. So I'm going to connect them, you know, like hinge them together. That's what I mean. I said to myself, I want to use the book page to hinge them together with. So that would be something different. Then I thought, well, it is an old book. So I just ran a little bit of Mod Podge on just one side of this. So I think that will keep this as a pretty decent hinge. So anyway, this is going to be a book for a friend of my daughter's. They're theater majors. I like the mask on there. It kind of reminded me of the theater mask, even though both of them are happy. One should be sad, one should be happy. But I think I'm going to make it like the Midori style. So anyway, we'll be working on that in the future. So anyway, that's just an update on how those spines went, and I thank you for watching. So bye.